Well, good afternoon and welcome to Friday afternoon or Friday morning if you happen to be in Key West like Stacey Mitchell is. And who wouldn't want to be in Key West at the moment, because I'm sure the weather is perfect and the rum is flowing and the bars will soon be opening. Stacey Mitchell from Florida Keys Tourism, welcome to Travel Mole.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome.
No problem. Now, what's the current situation, Stacey, with regard to Florida Keys? We've heard, and in fact, we've written stories about your opening, and it all sounds very positive on June the 1st. What does that actually mean, though?
Well, the Florida Keys will be able to start welcoming visitors to the destination. We have been closed to tourism since March 22nd. There has been a checkpoint in place at the top of the Keys, the northernmost area of the Florida Keys. And that checkpoint was put in place to help to give our healthcare workers and our frontline workers a fighting chance against the virus. We knew that if we kept just the residents in place, we could manage the situation better than allowing an influx of visitors. And so now that the numbers have come down, we're very fortunate here where the number of cases we've been able to maintain, and looking at the efforts of our neighbors to the north, meaning Miami, Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, etc., our governing leaders had confidence in seeing this downward trend, and they felt confident in opening us up to get our economy rolling again.
Good. So that's in practical terms, that means that if I happen to be in Miami this weekend, I could come down for a long weekend. No, June the 1st, so it's next week. But when it's open, I can come down, stay in a hotel, go to a bar, have a meal, like I could have done in February, or are there dramatic changes in terms of social distancing?
Well, of course, we're following all of the guidelines from the Florida Department of Health and the CDC. That's first and foremost. Yes, starting June 1st, we can have visitors come down to the Keys and enjoy a vacation and hopefully leave the last 2 or 3 months behind. Our lodging facilities are open at 50% occupancy. Restaurants are open, again, the 50% occupancy maximum. Social distancing measures, facial coverings are all in place until further notice.
Do you feel there is certainly, from a statewide point of view, that there is a pent-up demand to come down to the Keys, that you really don't need to market the area at the moment, that people are busting the gut to get down there?
Well, there's two schools of thought with that. Yes, people want to experience something other than the walls inside their home, because we've all been cooped up globally for, it seems like, for so long. And the Keys holds a very special place in many people's hearts. We're so fortunate to have such a strong emotional attachment and a strong fan base to come down to the Florida Keys. So the demand is there, but there's also this trepidation about, is it okay for us to leave our homes? So there's a bit of a balance there.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I spoke to Longwoods International earlier this week, and they said that there is a pent-up demand, but there's also a fear factor that's preventing people, and until people are reassured. But I would think that once the thing starts rolling and people find out that they can visit, then perhaps that the whole the pent-up demand will be released. You're obviously known for some fantastic coastline, because that's basically what it is. You're going down lots of small islets, keys. You're also known in Key West for cruise, which obviously has taken a bit of a tumble in the last 3 months, like everybody else, and it doesn't look like cruise will be coming back anytime soon. Does that present you with problems, or does that present you with solutions?
Well, our office does not market to cruise ships. We are a county-wide tourism marketing office, and we are focused on overnight visitation. The cruise ship industry is marketed by the city of Key West, And the city of Key West is grappling with those issues that you've just mentioned. It is true that the cruise ship industry has taken a serious hit. We don't know when they're going to start back up again. But overnight visitation, as I said earlier, we have a very strong repeat customer base. And so we are confident that with the visitors coming and spending the night in hotels and bed and breakfasts and such, that they will pump up our local economy to tide us over. It's been a very difficult time for our tourism related industry.
I'm sure. What assistance, if any, have you been able to offer your stakeholders? And as a follow-up question to that, do you think the state and indeed the federal authorities should and would be digging deeper into their pocket to help?
Those are political questions, and those are opinions. What the state and federal government should be doing. So, I would not be able to comment on that in a fair way. We are a tourism marketing office, and since the shutdown, March 22nd, our promotional activities have gone dark. There was no reason to spend money on promoting a destination that was closed to visitors, but we are embarking now on our recovery campaign, of which I am really happy with. Our advertising agency did an incredible job at capturing the feeling of hope that yes, you will be able to holiday again, you will be able to travel again, but also balancing the need to acknowledge people's pain and suffering that they have been through. And this messaging is coming across in things like open spaces and grateful and welcome back. So it's a balance of the feeling of hope, but also acknowledging that we've been through some tough times, and there are too many people have gone through unimaginable times.
Do you think that that the COVID-19 crisis, as we've endured, and obviously your stakeholders and people in the, if you like, the front line of hospitality, will have experienced even more hardship and probably might do in the future? Do you think that puts the role of that your organisation has in a different light, that you're actually more at the forefront now than perhaps you were 6 months ago, that you're protecting, you're at the vanguard of protecting their interests?
This office provides the marketing that provides the economic engine for the entire county, and with nearly 50% of the residents' workforce being attributed to tourism-related businesses, it's very important that we market and get this economy back running again. People want to earn, they want to work, they want to be able to support their families, and our marketing arm is the catalyst to make that happen for them.
Now, you spoke about the good job that your ad agency has done in if you like, balancing, we're open, but by the way, remember that, a lot of people have had a lot of trouble here, and we are still, to a certain extent, in the middle of a pandemic. What format has that taken? Is it hashtags? Is it imagery? Have you used video? What's the substance of it?
We've done, there's video on social media, we have a digital component, we have outdoor billboard component, we have a print campaign, we have a television campaign. So we're using a wide array of mediums to be able to get this messaging across. And the images portray, to give you an example, it's a couple in what we call our backcountry, and I'm not sure when you were here if you remember or heard about our legendary backcountry, but it's waters in the Gulf of Mexico that are crystal clear. They're unbelievably turquoise, teeming with marine life, and it's very shallow water, and it's a place where it's just sun, sea, and sky. So we took that imagery to portray the wide open spaces. It's naturally social distancing. You don't have to think about it because it's really uncharted waters. So you can get away, be introspective, enjoy the fresh air, swim in warm sea waters. And other imagery shows a family on a boat that maybe they have rented, and it's the kids are just so joyful jumping in this beautiful water. Finally, they can get out and play.
Mm.
And so it's this feeling of freedom, being outdoors, being in wide open spaces, most importantly, being together and one with nature, which are all the attributes that this destination offers outside of a pandemic.
Yeah, as I was mentioning before, actually, the transformation in the Keys in terms of its, if you like, it's an attitude thing that the entire area now is very, very turned on to environment, to wildlife, to, as you said, and I was lucky enough to go into those waters, which are very shallow, and look at all the marine life, etc., on an electric boat as opposed to one that's being run by petrol or diesel. You know, it was all very, very, you know, the entire trip from Miami down to Key West and back was an eye opener for me, really, given that I hadn't been there for about 10 years. Do you think that in the post-COVID world, even if we got a miracle cure tomorrow, do you think that the experiences of the last 2 or 3 months will sort of, if you like, strengthen that belief that that's the way that the area should be going, and maybe you could become even more radical in terms of the laws and the attitude that people take in the Keys?
Well, as we both shared earlier, you know, the Florida Keys has always been on the cusp of revolution, and it comes naturally to us because we live so closely in alignment with nature, that this higher consciousness that has come to the forefront, it's always been here. Now we're just vocalizing it as far as respecting and protecting the environment, acknowledging our natural resources. I think what this pandemic has done is brought that mindset to the masses. We've all read about, you know, certain big urban cities or areas being able to breathe fresh, clean air for the first time in years, and the incredible clarity of waters that have normally been darkened or maybe, you know, too green or murky. And this will hopefully resonate amongst the entire planet. And you know, the Keys, once again, we're at the forefront organically. We're not doing it because this may become the trendy thing to do. We were doing it, as you personally witnessed, before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
and it's because we live so closely with nature and we rely on our natural resources, whether it be our marine biologists, whether it be our commercial fishermen, whether it be our dive operators. These are people who interact with our natural resources on a daily basis. They see the changes, they're conscious of their practices. And so we're going to continue on this journey that we've been on before the pandemic. And maybe the world, as a result of this, there's always good that comes out of bad, then maybe the whole world will grab onto this movement.
And I don't know if you've had the chance, but you mentioned, you know, lack of traffic, lack of cruise ships in Key West. Is the sunset at Mallory Square even more spectacular?
So I ride my bike. I commute via bicycle, and since we have been under this quarantine, I have taken the liberty to ride my bike in the evenings and go down to the waterfront and watch sunset as a measure of decompressing from all the negativity that's surrounding us. And it could be that the sunsets are more brilliant, or I'm just more grateful of them.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the last time I saw one, it was pretty spectacular, and that was before all this. So they must, with a cleaner sky, less pollution, they must be even better. which would be difficult to imagine, quite frankly. But Stacey, I'd like to thank you very much for your time this morning, this afternoon. I wish you the very, very best of luck with your opening on June the 1st.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully we can return and have a conversation in 2 or 3 months' time when maybe international tourism will also be on the agenda. But
Well,
until
I would look forward to welcoming you on my front porch,
indeed,
offering you a cup of cafe con leche, and we can talk some more about what life's like here in Key West.
marvelous. Stacey, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
And you, bye-bye.